knowledge there.
Yeah.
And we are with the Pirate Broadcast once again, and it is does it really matter what day it is? Because Tuesdays are kind of like Wednesdays and kind of like Mondays, but on the Pirate Broadcast, we can do whatever we need to do to bring interesting people to, and with interesting thoughts and ideas and creating interesting stuff to share with you today. And also, I just want to remind you that if you're not on LinkedIn, if you're on Facebook, or if you're on YouTube, or you're watching this elsewhere, you're listening to the podcast, let me know. Give me a shout out. Just dial it in. Allow us to communicate and join a community of people like-minded, trying to do good things and make a difference, make it matter. And today is no different because we have Yvette, and Yvette is going to drop some nuggets of knowledge and some information with you that is going to just increase and probably make a smile or two, because smiles are free, right? Right, Yvette?
Yes. And Russ,
I just love her smile, and that's what attracted me. It's like she has an amazing smile, and I love the way she smiles and her energy in it. And I want to welcome you to the Pirate Broadcast. I think this is your first LinkedIn Live episode, so
yes, it's
welcome.
My first, and thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here, and it's cool that you take the time to hear, listen, and share stories that allow people to have more kindness and grow. It's a very positive impact you're making. So thank you.
Well, all the gratitude in the world. And for everyone joining in, if you're able to join in, it's awesome. Drop in, let us know where you're from, and just kind of give us a feel for what you're looking for. Ask questions if you can. I'll get on my phone and look for those questions. And the really important thing to understand here on the show, though, is Yvette is an individual that has had to go through some pain and challenges and, some downtimes in order to really appreciate the gratitude and the gifts that she shares. And this individual is an amazing individual. We've had conversations in the past, and she's a brilliant individual as it relates to strategy and business. So if you're not connected, get connected and reach out and say, I told Russ sent me. Just say Russ sent me, and I'm sure that you'll find an end. So Yvette, tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get to doing what you're doing right now at this point in time?
Yeah. So tell me Russ sent you, and you've got an automatic in. A friend of Russ is a friend of mine, so we're good there. So I help business owners grow their business, having more fun and fulfillment. And so how did I get into that? Real talk is that I've actually been doing business strategy and growth even since before I graduated from college. So I've always done that. It is a love of mine. I started 5 businesses this summer when I was 10 years old for fun. I didn't need $1, actually. I just thought it was fun to start a business. I did a lemonade stand. Then I was like, literally my little 10-year-old mind was like, this ROI is terrible. It's hot. These people just drive by me. This is a bad idea. So then I went to a cookie selling business. Then I go to your house in my neighborhood, and it's like, okay, these people are home versus you drive by me in a car. It's not a walking neighborhood. Everyone's in a car. No one's getting lemonade, and they're all driving home because I'm in a cul-de-sac. No, they have water at home. Yeah. So I've had a deep passion for it for a super long time. I started out helping really large businesses. Like I've launched with Verizon, I launched an app that got 1.6 million downloads.
That's awesome.
And it was supposed to have 2,300. And so I got in, and then it was 1.6. But then after a while, I wanted just to give in a different way. And I also wanted a different lifestyle. What I noticed is really big companies had these Ivy Leaguers and really smart people. And I've had Wharton, Harvard grads work for me. So those were the people who reported to me. I was their boss. Yeah. And then I went through this huge personal development journey, which really started when I was in college, really early. And so even in my corporate career, my real mission was helping people have more wealth and more freedom. I started that by thinking, okay, help people with personal finance. So on the side, I had a financial planning business. I built a team and we taught 5,000 people how to invest in their 401ks and buying company stock. And they invested over $9 million, like on their own.
Wow.
And then as I started to look at the data, I realized people aren't really creating freedom because they're spending their whole life saying, I'm going to wait till I'm 65 to have fun. Well, I mean, dang it. I mean, most of your life was the time between 0 to 65. Like, you still have an opportunity after 65, but like, live your life now.
That's such a tragedy.
Yeah.
Like, why not find something that you enjoy so you can do something you enjoy the whole time?
Exactly. And it's something you enjoy, but also the mentality of it basically had this whole mentality where you say, you push fun forward. Because some people, I realize, even enjoy what they did now.
You push fun forward?
Push fun forward. Because, so the mentality when people are just focused on retirement is, I'll have fun then.
Yeah.
So I even find that people will have a job they like, but their mentality is, this isn't supposed to be that fun. I'm going to enjoy later.
Is the suffering I have to go through in order to save enough to have fun later.
Yes. And so even if people liked their job, their mentality is, I'm supposed to have fun in retirement.
Yeah.
So that wasn't what I wanted to bring to the world.
Yeah.
And that's when I went from, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so that's a change in a mindset that really has to be able to sink in, because not everybody, because I went through a lot of transitions in my life, and I've been in and out of corporate environments, and led people, and have had to evolve because of circumstance. And it's really important for everyone to understand that the rules that you're given growing up aren't necessarily the rules that you have to live by in order to accomplish your goals and your mission. Because like yourself, you went to finance, you sold lemonade, you made cookies. There's a lot of different ways that we can actually create abundance in our life and joy, and these opportunities can show up at the last possible minute, right?
And I'll go even further and say the rules you grew up with are not the rules that will bring you joy. I'll go even further and just be very declarative.
She stays here.
Well, because when you were a kid, when you were a kid, your parents don't know who you're going to be.
It's like, what are you doing when you grow up?
Yeah, the universe doesn't know who you're going to be. Real talk, some of the jobs my friends have today didn't exist. Like when I'm doing a thing where I'm helping out a friend he's like 21 and he made $1 million drop shipping when he was 21. Drop shipping didn't exist 10, 15 years ago.
No,
right?
not like it does today.
So you can't play by the rules from like 10 decades ago. I mean, obviously, because life just changes. So I want to say it's not just that your parents are mean or bad or not smart or society's wrong or blame the school system or victim here. Life just changes. You change. I change.
Yeah.
And if you listen to yourself, so like for me, I thought personal finance was it. I had a blog. I had talked to the CFO of the New York Stock Exchange about an app to help people with personal finance. I was constantly having people wanting to interview and hire me. I was about to go full on into financial. I've done all the education to be a financial planner. I mean, I was so but it never felt fully right. And it took a while for me to really hear that and say, if you have every opportunity, you're talking to the CFO of the New York Stock Exchange about an app to transform how people manage money. Yeah. You getting offers for jobs and you saying no.
That tells you something. That tells you something. And I also want to stress the fact that I think the educational system is not designed to teach individuals growing up about the inner workings of finance, how debt works, how lending works, how, all of these structures can actually, how to leverage your money, how to.
Well, absolutely not. So so there's two, I'm a history buff. Y'all will know this. So public education started actually because when we freed the slaves, we wanted to create an education system because these people were legally not allowed to get educated. So that was actually the reason we first started public education. Then we really went all in during the factory system. because you needed to train workers for factories. So you needed them to have a basic education. And then the third reason is we're a country of immigrants, even though sometimes we disagree about that, but we are. And so we needed an education system so everybody had some similar culture. So those are the three kind of
common ground.
Yes. So notice, okay, so we free people, we're trying to bring them into the fold to do work. Okay, we have immigrants, we're trying to make them all similar so they get along and can do work.
Factory workers.
Okay. I'm going to make them all similar. Exactly. So the back, and it made sense back in that time.
It totally makes sense.
Yes.
And the Industrial Revolution would never have happened had they not had the workforce to industrialize.
Yeah, and it was better. You were leaving your little, like, I work super hard and I just on a farm and I have milk sometimes, to I'm in a factory and I do something that's kind of boring but super easy, but now I got a house and a car. It was an upgrade then.
Yeah, well, a lot of people left the farms, and that's why farming had to become industrialized too. Because
and it also got super efficient. I mean, we can do so. Back in there's a time when 98% of people farmed. Now it's like 2%, and we produce more than they did. So, well, whether it's healthy or not is a different story. But
that's a different episode. We'll get on that one.
But to go. So I realized that as much as I liked this, I didn't love it. And people often say, like, how do you find your passion? Go out and do it. If you fall out of love with it, that's a sign that it wasn't your passion. And so when I really went all into the financial literacy, and I realized that I wanted to help people have joy and wealth now. Yeah. And money is important because we need food, shelter, clothing. You buy all of those things. So you need, and then you also want to make sure you have money in case your kids get sick, you get sick, your parents get sick. There's an emergency. So you need money for your basics, and then you need enough that you're not worried all the time.
Yeah.
And so you want to create, and we spend more of our life working than anything else. If you're spending 8 hours a day, most of us don't sleep that much. I do. Most people don't. You're not with your kids that much. You're not with your family that much. So you want to enjoy what you do. Yeah. It is necessary for the basics of life and then the fun of life. And money is actually the number one stressor that people go through life with. They go number one stressor for work. It's the number one argument that couples have in the first year of marriage. So anyway, I said, how do you really, really help people right away? And I was like, help them grow their business faster. Oh, I'm really good at that. Oh, that's really fun. I like complex things that involve numbers and growth and people. Yeah. And
boom. The next thing you know, you're helping more people help more people.
Exactly.
And it's all like compound interest, right?
Yes.
So, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And that's always encouraged people I liked the financial literacy.
Yeah.
I love business growth and strategy.
Well, speaking of business growth, I want to give a shout out to some of the people that have joined us. Dancing Diana from Melbourne, she's in the room. Angie Schumann, love you. Sherry, Maureen, Troy, Deepak. There's just amazing to see these people join in live, and I just want to appreciate. We're with Yvette. She's talking about business strategy and growth and change and evolution in her life and all these things, amazing, interesting things, and she's doing interesting things to help you too. So stay tuned.
Yeah. And hey, Dancing Diana.
Love you. So this wasn't always the case. So you went through the financial industry, but there was a personal incident where because you were a bicyclist, and one of the things, the turn of events that maybe it was a change in a thought process after you had an accident that maybe developed some thoughts and cleared up a few ideas in your mind. What was that about? So
Yeah, okay. So the version that sounds the coolest is I had this accident and then I realized that life was different and then I was a better human being the next day. And that version sells books and that version sells videos.
It's
But
not
having
always
lived,
true though.
yeah, having lived this life, I know that what usually happens is they just cut out the middle. So I was on a bicycle
The
going
pain
to
and
work.
suffering part, you mean?
Yeah, you know, the whole growth part.
It was just a minute.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the movie montage.
Oh, crazy.
So I was on a bicycle going to work. So okay, let's paint the picture.
Okay.
In my early 20s, I live in DC. I'm doing business growth strategy. I'm also doing ballet because I got really into it a couple years back. I bicycle to work. I swim 3 times a week. I do yoga in the morning, sometimes at sunrise. So I'm super active. I'm meditating on a regular basis. Now, at this point, I've realized I'm into the financial stuff, but I'm not doing that. So, and this is really, really key about intuition. I did not want to go to work that day. And had I really enjoyed what I was doing, I actually wouldn't have gone in because it was guilt because I wasn't feeling well. So I say that to say,
play such a big part in our life, right?
Yes, that your gut, and some of you are going to be like, your gut knows, and so these are just little things that maybe you can build upon and start to notice. So anyway, I'm taking a bicycle to work. I get hit by a car, not a bad person, accidents happen.
Right.
I'm knocked unconscious, flip over the car. Yeah, that car, okay, you can't see my hands. Flip over the car, laying on the ground unconscious, in the ambulance to the emergency room, getting scans done. There's a whole journey of low quality healthcare, but let's just say my mom had to call in and specifically tell the doctor what scans to do for me.
Yeah.
And then I went back to work probably a couple of days later, which was crazy. I had a neck brace, a wrist brace, crutches, and it hurt to breathe.
Broken ribs.
I didn't break anything, thank God, but everything was so weak. Every muscle, every fiber, like I am still physically unhealed from that. Like there's some really deep massage work I started doing. And the guy asked me, I said, oh my God, that feels so good. He said, oh, how long has it been hurt? 6 months. Blah, blah, blah. I said, 10 years.
Wow.
He's like, I've heard a year. He's like, I've never heard. I mean, there are still places so normally we think of breaks, and we'll keep going deeper with the messaging. Like sometimes things don't fit and they're not working, but it's not so obvious as a break, but you know it when it hurts to breathe. Jesus Christ, right?
I've had broken ribs. So I know what it's like not to want to laugh.
Yeah. You know what? It's so funny you say laugh. I actually feeling like first the challenge was it hurt to breathe. And then it was a year later where it stopped hurting to laugh. So I actually see that as progress. I see that as progress. So yeah, I went back. Luckily, I think
that's a massive, to use the word, impact in your life. I mean, that has to cause you to reflect on some of the things that you're doing in your world, right?
It did, and it didn't. So I think I went back to work for about a week, and then I went on short-term disability, which means you're home not working. I literally cried every day. Right. I always believed that I would be physically okay. So in my head, I had a kind of a traditional model of medicine. My parents are both doctors. That probably is part of it. And I was like, oh, I can get fixed up. I didn't break anything. And that's why I paused to say, just because you don't break something doesn't mean there isn't severe damage.
Right.
And our medicine right now is really good at severe acute damage. So it's actually harder to heal something that is really bad off, but isn't broken.
Yeah.
There's not, this is the book right next to me. There's the amount of science books I've read to self-heal. So there's really if it's a break, they have a process for that. If your myofascia and your tissue and your muscles are just so badly warped, there isn't one.
Yeah.
So that is actually harder in a way. And it's kind of like, it's not obvious. Like when we have obvious dysfunction, breaks, alcoholism, physically getting beaten. Like, we're like, okay, it's a problem. But when we have less obvious dysfunction, we feel stuck. You're unhappy.
Sometimes we look at the symptoms and we don't look at the cause.
Yes.
And with muscle tissue, it's often it's not, because you can't necessarily see a small tear as well in X-rays. You know, they're getting better with MRIs and, you know, different types of.
And it doesn't even always have to be, I mean, we don't want to go into, there's arthritis, there's so many things that layer on top. Yeah. And the other thing is some of it can't always be seen in technology. And if you can't see it in technology, you have to just believe the patients.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a whole journey with that, to your point, Russ, about I had to get to a point where my truth is truth. Like, I've been to doctor's offices where I share the symptoms, and I know the moments when you as a doctor realize I'm more aware of this problem than you are. Not because you're a bad doctor.
Yeah.
Because such a small percentage of people have it.
And we could go down another path here where, you know, doctors are not allowed to investigate to the degree that a lot of doctors would like to, you know, in terms of, you know, not necessarily tests, because I think tests are being overused a lot, but I mean, just the conversation having with patients and being able to connect the dots on some of the illnesses and the symptoms that are actually being caused by a source of illness, not necessarily, you know, it's proactive care too. I think we really need to start thinking about, I mean, I'm overweight, you know, I'm older. It's like, I need to meditate. I need to be in yoga. I need to be biking. I need to be doing I need to have different choices in my life. And there's, you know, it's like, okay, it's not as prevalent, and it's getting, I think it's getting better. I think that the choices have to be, I don't know. It's just, I've been in and out of medical, you know,
it's every
lab and everything else. And it's
everything. I mean, I've done, at one point we thought about having to cut a bone on my leg and like, I mean, it was crazy. I mean, I've done everything from people who healed me energetically through laptops to top surgeon in Texas. Look, if it works, it works, is my theory. I got so much CBD oil sitting right there. You think I have a little online store. That's all personal consumption.
That's the next adventure, right?
Yeah, but the theme about all of this, whether we're talking about passion or your health, is you've got to stay, we've all got to stay aware and conscious to what's going on. And it was only when I was conscious and I was proactive and I stopped saying, well, it still hurts and the physical therapist isn't fixing it. The doctor isn't fixing it. I was like, well, you know, they're trying their best and definitely it's not working. And we in year 6, 7 of this. So what am I going? And it wasn't that I didn't do anything, but I just realized that it wasn't working.
Yeah.
Yes. And you have to take personal responsibility for literally everything in your life. And it can be overwhelming. And that's why I go back to the point of what I do. Right. And so I believe in life as a team. So you guys are about to find a whole lot about me. So I live life as a team sport. Right. And so that's why I say, like, when you help people create wealth, because there's a lot of shit to take personal responsibility for.
Nobody's done it.
Yes. But when money helps you do that. There's 3 ways to get help: family, friends, and pay people. If you want it on time, consistently, you usually need to pay people, or you're going to get a lot of phone calls that say, oh my God, I had to work because people did the thing that paid them first. So, I mean, I know what it's like.
Doesn't have the luxury of managing their own schedule a lot of times. So.
Yes. And like, I mean, I literally know what it's like to be I physically couldn't push a grocery cart. Like you're looking for other people to provide you food.
Yeah.
And they have to balance it around their priorities. So I had a phenomenal mentor. I was really miserable in DC. And he said, Yvette, there's 3 ways to get help. He was the one who told me this: family, friends, and paid help. You don't have enough of any, and you have a bad mix. It was so practical. I was bawling.
It's like, boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Well, he's this. Oh, if you saw him and you saw me, you would be like, how are these 2 best buds? He is this. He's Texan. I lived in Texas, but he's so like traditional and like just the way he acts.
You lived in Houston, didn't you?
Yeah, I've lived in 3 parts of Texas. I lived in 4 continents and over like 38 homes, probably 8 different places. I've never lived anywhere for longer than 5 years. But anyway, it was so powerful what he said. And so I that's why I moved to Texas, and it was a place that was easier to live. You could drive. Work was also easier because it's south.
Well, I'm in Houston right now is why I mentioned Houston.
Oh yeah. I lived in Montrose for a while, and Edo. Yeah.
Okay. I was there off Washington, right?
Yeah. I moved, and it was so funny. I went to Texas to rest. I thought it'd be a short stint, and then I'd be in New York where I wanted to be, which is where I am now. And I grew so much in that short stint of 5 years, which is actually the longest I've been in any one place, is 5 to 6 years. But it was like, while I was so focused on, get better and then go do what you love. Yeah. It was like, I grew, all these things happened, and that's kind of how life is. And so when I did get to the point physically where I could move to New York, and then I moved to New York, it was like, in some ways I'm picking up a lot of the same interests that I had, just like literally a month before the accident. But now I'm this person who has way more skills, way more insight. I've had this whole life experience. And so I have the ability to do those things at a significantly higher level. And if you go back, sometimes the sad part is like, I'm picking up the same things from before the accident. But no, I'm picking up the same things from when I was 9. Because go back.
Well, I think what I hear you
start so early.
Yeah, what I hear you saying though is this theme of regardless of your circumstance, do what you can with what you have right now, because there's waiting. Waiting is only going to prolong the inevitable if you're really going to be committed to what you're going to be doing anyway. So why not do it now, build a team around it, and grow, accelerate that growth, right?
Yes. And you bring back life as a team sport to the point where, so when I was growing the business, I was like, oh my God, I love doing this. So this is what's funny. So when I work in corporate, nobody who worked with me listened to this. Yeah. I work really, really fast. So I worked 50% less time than anyone else. I just never told anyone because I would try to help them, but then people just felt guilty. And I slept a lot. Like sometimes I slept 11 hours a day, especially when I was in a lot of pain. I slept a lot. Like I slept 11 hours a day while helping a company save $300 million, like a lot. So
you have to be rested for that piece, right?
Yes. But when I started my own business, it wasn't the same. It's and this is the thing, whether it's a business, your kids, you want to go to the Olympics, whatever, like you want to do Taekwondo, whatever. When you go all into what you love it. So I love it so much. And so it actually pushed me with my health. I was like, I really want to do more of this. Yes. The number one barrier right now is my body gets exhausted a lot. And I just created solutions out of nowhere. Yeah. Like, again, I've had at least 100 experts try to work with me, and we've made progress. Yeah. But when I was like, I'm doing what I love and I need more energy, I created. So it just changed. And the team sport. So I have this housekeeper. So first she would come, she'd clean, once every 3 months, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, you know what? I get real exhausted doing dishes, my back. She could do the dishes, but that means she's got to come more frequently. Oh, what if she came more frequently, then she could cook, and that gets exhausting. Basically, this woman, one of my guys on my team, he's basically like, she keeps you alive. But that's what I mean when I say it's a team sport, right? So there's pay, but also like she goes so above and beyond. She's got kids about my age. And I can tell that what I give her is the ability to nurture. Yeah. So she worked, and then she stayed at home. She worked as a cleaner, which she really loves doing. Then she stayed at home for 17 years. Now she's working, her kids are an adult, and then she gets this person who's basically her customer who needs nurturing. Right. So, I mean, she has literally called me before and said, I see some storage baskets on sale, and my daughter just bought some. Do you want some? Yeah.
I mean, we all have a gift. This is what I truly believe. We all have a gift. We all have something that we're that possesses us, or we should be sharing. And nurturing is in that category. It's like being able to give someone the gift of time is so important and critical in our lives. And I love the story and the message that you're bringing to the table, because this is what life is about, is let's not wait till forever in the future. Let's do what we can with everything we got to put into it. Because every day, every day is a gift. And I wake up with gratitude and I think, man, I get to do what I get to do. And it's really, it's empowering. And I just know that, I have a lot more to deliver to the world before I'm through. And people like you just invigorate that feeling and just amplifies the message. We cannot wait. We cannot hold back.
Yes, do it now. And the thing is, people want to be a part of that. And I guess that's the other thing I really want to come through. And it's often not your family and friends, because they're already part of something, being your family and friends.
No.
But
sometimes
so I feel like,
close.
well, it doesn't matter. Well, no, like they're already something. They already have a role that they have, and they're doing it. And they have their own passions and hobbies. But this woman likes to nurture. I need it. It's great. She's giving me, she's Muslim. They, for Eid, they cook special food. She's like, do you like this? Like when she has a holiday and she's cooking a special meal for her family, she will ask me weeks in advance if I like that type of food so she can bring me some.
That's awesome.
I give her nurturing. So I have people on my team, like one woman, she wanted to learn how to edit a video. I do a ton of LinkedIn video. I don't know how to edit a video. So I found steps. She's becoming a video editing expert. Like, it really is a team. I have a friend. He wants to nurture. I need some. So we have become really close friends. I have another friend who I'm really good at scaling businesses, and he's really good at building online stuff and selling. So I'm helping him with the scaling. People who work for you, put them in a role they like, and they're getting the value of
It's
learning
amazing
that
what
thing.
you can accomplish when you're in your genius zone, right?
Yes. And put the people around you. Like there's a saying, if you want to do it, if you want to do it fast, do it by yourself. If you want to go big, build a team. And the team is the family, the friends, the paid help, the everyone. You are part of the team. You have given me this platform today. In getting to know you to get to this point, we've developed a relationship.
Yeah.
So I really like.
Oh, it's not over. It's not over. So I really want people to get the messages of listening to your intuition, doing it, and recognizing like, your family and friends honestly are probably going to tell you you're crazy anyway, because people don't like change. But there's 8 million people out there in life. There's literally 8 million humans. 8 billion humans. There's a lot of people that will want to help you with this. And they show up when you're listening, right?
Yes. And when you're ready, because, and I love I'm going to use the house cleaner example again, because when I say a team, if I said a mentor, everybody would be like, yeah, I got it. If I say a parent, if I say an employee, they're going to be like, so this is someone I want you to understand just how big I see the team. Yeah. Yes. She's always been this kind, nurturing person. And I've known her for 3 years. I had the particular need and the focus to say, hey, I really want someone who's coming to my home, who's a kind, nurturing person, and who will do various things because they know that I need it and we have a relationship. So she was always that person. The thing she does for me, she does for no one else. It's because of the relationship that we have. I get the videos from her son's wedding.
That's part of relationship. That's part of building your community. That's part of building, the deeper, and I always say, and people probably get tired of me saying this is like, if you have a conversation long enough with somebody, you'll always find a thread, you'll always find a relationship. We're all connected. And I just believe that, the differences are sometimes what holds back the conversation that allow us to find that connection.
And I'll add to that our insecurities. If you're insecure, you can't connect with the other person. It's you.
It's like the shy room in a networking group, right?
Right? Oh, and I'll let that. I mean, shy is like an excuse. Like, I'm so shy. If someone put a gun to your head, you'd be talking.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I just really appreciate you. And these moments are what really fuel me, because like you said, if I can continue to highlight and shine a light on others around me, that brings me joy, that brings me life. And I really know that through these connections, there's going to be a lot of abundance taking place. And when that happens, there's more energy in a positive way that gets shared throughout the community, and people grow from that. I just believe it. And it's just, you can't run out of abundance, right?
Yes, by definition.
by definition, you cannot run out of abundance. And I just want to just highlight some of the people before we jump off. And Jessica's here. Thank you, Jessica. Kenyatta, you're awesome. Milton, Sherry, Angie, so many wonderful people here joining in. And I just really appreciate you and all the gratitude in the world for you being here live. And if you listen into the replay, just drop a replay, hashtag replay. And I'll continue to bring comments back. And if you don't know Yvette, connect with her. Say Russ sent you. Say Russ sent you. And it's so wonderful to have you here today. I'm so glad. And it's one of many conversations we're going to have over the next several months, I'm sure. So, I got some more things that I want to share with you at some point in time. So
I know. I'm part of his team. He's part of my team. So,
secret knowledge.
Yes. Thank you for having me. You've been a great host, a fun interviewer, and I grow from each of these experiences. So I really want to thank you and honor you for having me here today.
Yeah, anytime. Come on back now. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful week and a happy Thanksgiving for all of those that are traveling. Be safe, do well, and as always, kindness is cool, smiles are free, and you enjoy the day.